Imagine discovering your face had been stolen to create an explicit fake profile. Well, it's a growing reality in the age of social media and AI.
Yes, joining us now to discuss this is journalist Jasmine Griffin, whose identity was stolen, and tech journalist Elaine Burke. You're both very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Jasmine, your identity was stolen recently. Yeah. Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so it was back in March, roughly, and I woke up one morning to a text from a friend saying, hey, you just started following me on Instagram again. And I thought, that's weird, funny joke, you know, Monday morning. And he had sent me a screenshot of the profile, and it was somebody purporting to be me, using my face and my name to promote explicit content of some variety.
Okay, so it was detailed, shall we say? It was a serious impersonation.
Yes. So my picture was taken, and there were videos of, used underwear with links, and these links then, I'm not really sure where they ended up. I actually never clicked them. I was worried about scams, hacks. I was really concerned about AI deepfakes, what I might see myself doing. Mm-hmm. So that worried me massively. I was, it wrote that I was the girl next door with a deep, dark secret, and please click here. And the most terrifying thing for me was my personal profile was actually linked in the biography. So as you said, I am a journalist, and I use Instagram to, keep contact with people, colleagues, business contacts. And unfortunately, a lot of those business contacts and colleagues were followed by this fake profile. And then they had my page in the biography, so it linked back to me, and it did look legitimate that this was a secondary account that I had.
Okay.
I mean, what was your initial reaction to this? I mean, aside from the fact that it feels just obviously incredibly invasive, but what was the emotion that set in when you were first sent the profile?
Absolute panic. I just thought, this is my career, this is my personal life. Luckily a load of friends of mine knew that it was fake, it was a joke. But the people that I deal with at work or my colleagues, I was immediately worried that they may get the wrong idea, that a complaint would go in about me. So I immediately contacted HR at the company, and they were very good with helping me liaise with Gardaí. The detective assigned to my case has been very good, so he's really explained everything. But it is a big fear, and now with technology getting so advanced, I mean, we hear so much about AI deepfakes and everything these days, and absolutely terrifying.
You said that you went on to see what was going on, but you had to go a roundabout way to do that because they had blocked you looking at this.
Absolutely, yeah. Which was even more terrifying was that they knew, maybe we can almost get away with this. And I think that's why I went ahead with the article, and I contacted Meta, because when originally then sending a report of impersonation, they came back and said, this doesn't violate our community guidelines or, whatever. And I was really shocked by that. How doesn't this violate, an impersonation? So it wasn't until I had several friends go ahead and report similarly that it was in fact taken down. Now, it was probably online from when I saw it first to just over an hour, maybe a bit more. And, then it was taken down, but it was a crucial 90 minutes of my life. It was just a horrible thing to wake up to, and to have to then go ahead and try and fight that fire and try and, claim back any sort of my reputation that was possibly going to go askew or awry. It was really one of the hardest things, and I just feel there aren't enough safeguards.
Elaine,
we're seeing this. We're seeing this more and more. Was it 10 million accounts were taken down in 2025 alone? I mean, why is this becoming such a norm?
So yeah, that's from Meta's own reporting, and they attributed that number to more sophisticated automated systems that they put in place to detect these kind of accounts. But the number that we don't know is the number of accounts that aren't taken down, that are fake and spammy. And if anyone has ever gone through the reporting procedure, that Jasmine described there, you will have found it, I'd imagine, quite unsatisfactory. I'm reporting spam accounts constantly myself as well, not the impersonation style, but these kind of accounts that are trying to dupe people in different ways. And you typically get some sort of automated response. That kind of response that you got where I said it doesn't actually infringe on our guidelines. When you think about how the system works, if an automated system is active when someone's setting up an account to try and monitor to see if there is any kind of dubious nature to it, and it's missing it, the same automated system is, probably responding to your reporting and also going to miss it. And it's really frustrating because in your case and what you described, any human being operating that system would notice straight away that this is an illegitimate account, clearly trying to spoof Jasmine's account and direct people to something more nefarious. But there's very little human touch involved with that kind of reporting system. It obviously must have gotten escalated. Jasmine was very clever in that she asked friends and other people to also report the account, and that's a really good thing to do because the level of reporting can hopefully nudge the system to move faster, to escalate an issue, to hopefully get to the point where an actual human being looks at it and says, this is obviously some sort of scam. But that can be a very wearying process as well. 90 minutes is a very long length of time to even be going through this experience. But for some people, it can take days, weeks. And there's also people who have found their accounts being hacked and have had issues trying to get them recovered. Sometimes if you are a verified account, on one of these services like Instagram, you will get a bit more attention. These are people who pay to have extra customer service basically attached to what they do. And for people who are professionals and using Instagram in that way, that can be very important to them because to have an account compromised can be detrimental to their livelihoods. It's unfortunate, but what you have is a situation where you have networks of billions of people where the people responsible for monitoring it number may be in the low thousands or even hundreds, and that's just not going to give you good moderation in that kind of activity.
Okay, so what can you do to try to prevent it from happening?
If you have a public account, you are susceptible to this kind of thing. And high-profile people especially will see this happen a lot. I'd say the likes of you have probably seen impersonators spring up trying to pretend to be you. And especially if you're any kind of a high-profile person who doesn't have an online presence, you're very likely to have people trying to impersonate you because they're trying to capture the fandom that's looking for you online, essentially. But it can happen to anyone, really. And it's something that you have to bear in mind, that information that you put out there publicly online can be abused in some kind of way. And unfortunately, there's no way to stop that. One thing that is coming into effect that is some good news on this, because I don't want to be totally depressing, is that the generation of non-consensualised sexual imagery is going to be effectively banned by 2nd of December this year in the EU. So any systems that are made that can do that are banned, and any use of that in that way is banned. So that's one step towards this. But there are campaigners who want to see that go further, that any kind of non-consensual deep faking, whether it's sexualised or not, be banned. And there is hopefully work going towards that.
Well, this should have happened a long time ago, and these platforms should have been held accountable immediately when we saw these happening. One worrying thing that I've seen is, and this is how bad it is, was it's happened to people, creators that I know on both TikTok and Instagram, where they've lost their accounts for impersonating the fake accounts. I mean, that's how bad it's gotten, to the point where these have become so advanced, the people that are actually impersonating the real person are then reporting the real person's page, and they're losing their accounts.
So that's basically a sophisticated knowledge of how the system works, and that's what you'll get with these scammers. Like, they will know a lot more about how these systems operate than you as an average user do, because they're kind of in an adversarial position against it, constantly learning what will trigger a red flag going up and what will be the evasive maneuver to get around that. And then that's a good technique to try and make it out that you're the legitimate account and it's the other account that's the impersonator. It's a horrible thing to go through.
How do you view social media now? Have you started using it differently?
Absolutely. So my account is now private. I have, I get follow requests all the time just because of the nature of my work. But, I'm of, the thinking now that, I just don't allow anybody, unless I really have had a conversation with them in person. I even might get, crew members following me, just to contact me, or, other journalists. But until I'm absolutely dead set you are who you are, I'm definitely weary of it now. So I get, I can understand that, you know, other people maybe as well. And that's something I just want to say is any youngster out there, if this happens to you or anybody my age, I mean, I'm 27, you know, and I wasn't prepared for this to happen. So it can happen at any age. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, what your celebrity status is. Just be a normal Joe Soap, and you know this can happen, and there's no shame attached. You know, just make sure you document what you can because you will be asked for it, and try and just, if you're comfortable, maybe escalate it with An Garda Síochána and just make sure that you know there are supports there, and this just should not be something embarrassing or shameful because it's nothing you've done.
Okay, brilliant. Jasmine and Elaine, thanks for coming in.